Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Rose here. So today I am doing a react to a compilation deep dive video done by my good friend EERIE Pepperoni. For anyone not familiar with EERIE Pepperoni, she is very, very talented. She has an amazing channel of different kinds of videos. There's a lot of very funny, humorous videos on foodie beauty on her channel. And recently, EERIE did a deep dive type video on foodie beauty, a timeline video, if you will. And she put a lot of work and time and blood, sweat, and tears into it. And she really put a lot of different things together, and I wanted to react to it. And for those who are interested in EERIE Pepperoni's video and also her channel, I will be linking the video and her channel in the description. And I absolutely recommend everybody check out EERIE Pepperoni and subscribe, because as I said, this video that you're about to see, she put a lot of hard work and time into it, and the end result is certainly spectacular. So this video is all about following the timeline of foodie, with her talking about nadar and her obsession around nadar. And EERIE, I gotta hand it to you, even though I have not watched it yet because I was busy doing the react to the panel. I'm sure what you put together is very well done. So I want to give my thoughts to this video. And as I said, everyone, please go over to EERIE Pepperoni's channel after this and check out the video and leave a nice comment for EERIE, because she certainly deserves it. So let me just go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see the video for yourselves, so we can watch it together and I can react. So let's get to, shall we? Let me just back all the way up.
They were worried that you were helping set him up financially, and that one day he would give you the boot and give everything you deserve to someone else. I think about that every day, actually. But okay. Now, if that happens, I have a plan. I'm not as stupid as you think.
Okay, and I recognize where this clip came from. It was her Pies and Laws live stream where she was over at Natter's house. She was talking quietly because he was out of the room, but people asked her, what would you do if Natter found a bigger sugar mama than you and he wanted to leave you? And she just said, I have a plan. I'm not as stupid as you guys think. And that's something I've been telling everybody. Chantal likes to play stupid. She's not stupid, at least when it comes to being manipulative and vindictive. I feel even at this time period that she had a plan, that if Natter ever decided to walk away from her, that she was going to use the fact that he's been in trouble with the law against him. And we saw what happened with her going to the alleged cops and filing a case. She had the plan all along in her back pocket that if he ever tried to separate himself away from foodie, that she was going to be vindictive and use the fact that he's got a criminal record against him. But she is telling her audience, I'm not as stupid as you guys think. One of the greatest con jobs that foodie has ever put out on YouTube is putting out this image that she's some stupid, morbidly obese woman. In some ways, she is stupid. Her lifestyle is reckless. She's out of control with many areas of her life. But if there's one way that foodie is smart, is when it comes to making money. Trust and believe that. She knows all the tricks, all the con jobs, every way in the world to make money on YouTube. and she plays every single tool in her toolbox to the hilt. But let's keep going.
Trust. Look up something about Aries. Just look it up.
Yeah, according to Chantal, she's always toting about the fact that she's an Aries, and allegedly Aries people are vindictive and they hold a grudge and everything, so she falls back on that. You don't have to be an Aries to be vindictive and evil. She just likes to boast about the fact that she's an Aries, about her zodiac sign.
I want you to feel pain. I want you to burn. If it's fiery death comes fucking comes on you, I ruined your reputation. Unbelievable. And yes, people who are saying, well, now she only wants to contact the police now because she's mad. Well, yeah, because I forgave you. You forgave me for talking about you online. I forgave you for all of the abusive shit you did to me. You don't remember that, right? You want me to list it online? I don't think so.
Right? Exactly. She regrets nothing. And she brought up deviant essay purposely to trigger people, to get people to sympathize with her, to be in the spotlight, and essentially profit off the pain of other people. Because she knows there are people in her audience that might have potentially been through that, or perhaps they are going through that. She purposely triggers people for the sake of profit, because her livelihood depends on the money that other people give her through Google AdSense or through super chats. But instead of doing it the right way and earning money in a positive fashion, she's fashioned her channel off of being the bad guy and triggering people and getting them to hate her, because she has found that by getting people to hate her, she makes more money. I haven't watched this video. I don't know what's in it, but I will say if there's anything in this video that triggers you in some way, feel free to skip past whatever the part is or stop watching the video. Think about your own mental and emotional health. I haven't watched the video to know where the parts are, but I'm giving like a trigger warning ahead of time just in case something is mentioned that might upset you.
No, I didn't drop charges. But
And yet she got a letter, allegedly, a month later saying the charges were dropped. And yet she kept up the pretense that everything was still in place for months after that.
I'm really scared. So I want to say I am pursuing this legal stuff behind the scenes, mostly in private. I have nothing to hide. No, I'm not okay because this is fucking overwhelming as fuck. And then I have to watch at the same time the. I don't know. I don't know why people are like even questioning my motive. Like it matters. Like who cares? Who gives a fuck if I was a jealous lover?
Because it matters, Foodie. Going to the cops and alleging that you've been hurt in some way that is criminal, doing it because the person honestly hurt you, and you don't want that person to hurt you anymore, and you feel that person should be in jail is one thing. But going to the legal authorities just because you're angry at them for whatever reason, you're angry because they're not with you and they're with somebody else, that matters. Motive matters. It matters. It absolutely matters. It looks like if you're vindictive, that you're using the legal system as a means to get back at somebody rather than seek justice. The legal system is about seeking justice for crimes against an individual or group of people. You weren't about justice. You were about revenge, absolute revenge.
I'm not. And actually, if I wanted people, it pisses me off to see people saying shit like, you're just mad, you're just rejected lover, and that's why you're doing this.
You are. You were.
My motive doesn't matter. This will end, and we will move on and do fun things. You don't get justice for rejection.
Right.
So that's the thing, biggest user. What does rejection have to do with anything? Does that erase the fact that he fucking put his hands on me? Put his cigarette out on me?
Again, giving a trigger warning. She might talk about some things allegedly that happened to her. And this is just my opinion. As someone, I've been through DVNSA, watching Chantal, the way she's come on live stream numerous times in the past, describing things in detail, getting people concerned, just talking about things over and over for hours, weeks, months at a time. It is my honest opinion that a lot of the things that she said about Nader, the things he did to her, never occurred. She even said herself in a live stream recently that she exaggerated what happened to her. Anybody know what the word exaggeration means? That means you're pretty much lying and you're not telling the whole truth. You're taking something and you're blowing it out of proportion. So she said she exaggerated the truth, but she did not specify what she exaggerated. So as someone that I've been through DV and SA, I'm calling you out as being an out and out liar, using DV and SA on your channel for profit's sake and profiting off of the topics themselves and the pain and suffering of other people, Foodie.
Punched my body? Does that negate anything that happened or what? It doesn't matter it doesn't matter in this case what motive is. Like something happened, but the thing is it's like my word against his.
Yeah, and you know what? I do remember all the live streams where Foodie would come on camera with bruises on her arms and her chest, and she was in no way distressed about that. As a matter of fact, she would come on camera and proudly show off those bruises, which would suggest that whatever happened between her and Nader was consensual, maybe some kind of rough sexual play, and she enjoyed it, but she wasn't stressed about it then. It only became an issue when she was mad at him and she wanted to put a different spin on it, which, again, as someone I've been through certain things, I find that offensive. Going through something, you're fine with it at the time, but then when you're mad at somebody, you're going to turn around and point a finger and say they abused you. You can't do that. Either they abused you or they didn't. You can't change the narrative to suit the mood of being vindictive or not.
But I did come online every single time he abused me or did something bad, and I talk about it. That's the only advantage I have, but it still doesn't prove anything. How do you fucking prove something like that? It's like hard for me to accept the term victim. It's just disheartening because.
And yet she would come on live streams and always paint herself as the victim. Something else that I find offensive to people who really have been victims and are victims. She likes to play the victim because if you are playing the victim versus actually being the victim, If you're playing the victim, then whatever happens is not your fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's out of your control. She was going to see Nader repeatedly. They didn't live together. It wasn't like she was in the same house and couldn't leave. She repeatedly kept going to see Nader, kept talking to Nader, giving money to Nader. So if you're going to see this person, Foodie, repeatedly, if you have your own car, you have your own home, you have the power to stay away from them. If this person is half as bad as you said, why do you keep going back? And before anybody says anything to me, I understand, trust me, I understand that getting away from an abusive person is difficult. It's emotionally messy. I've been there myself. But at the same time, my situation, I was living with the people that were hurting me, and I had nowhere else to go. She had a place to go. She had her own life. She had her own money. She could have stayed away. Despite all these horrible claims, she kept going back.
The whole issue is not about me wanting him back or not. He'd like to comment about starting a GoFundMe. I will report your GoFundMe. GoFundMe? For what? So I mean, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to think about him every fucking day. And having to do this legal shit, I have to think about him every fucking day. But at the same time, I think about, like, sitting in the kitchen, him screaming at me and me looking at him thinking, you're gonna fucking pay for this someday. So,
here's something that maybe some people have not considered. We've heard from her that he's an abusive person. But who's to say Foodie wasn't abusive? I mean, we know that she's vindictive. We know she's jealous. She's all about revenge. She's all about getting even. How do we know for sure that the abuse did not go both ways? I'm not sticking up for Nader. He's a scumbag, period. Full stop. But how do we know that the abuse was just one way, if it even occurred? How do we know she wasn't verbally abusive? And we've seen her ugly personality. How do we know that the abuse was one way if it occurred? It could have gone both ways when they were together.
talked to him even in Windsor, so at some point I had changed my mind. I've changed my mind 1,000 times to be with him or not. And my point is, it doesn't fucking matter. Because that doesn't give him the right to fucking hit me. Period. And I'm the woman who excused it most. I'm the one who made it okay. I let him do it. Because I cared about him. I liked him. And I didn't want to lose him. So I excused it. And now I fucking hate him. Police card is here. It's surreal. I don't want to deal with this shit. What if everyone said that and no one recorded men like him? But that's the thing, like, why does he have to be like that? Why? You know how many times? Do you know how many dreams I've had about seeing him? How weird it is to not see him. Sometimes I smell him.
I think that Foodie, she mistakes love for obsession. I don't think she knows what love is. I think she knows what obsession is, but not love, because love is balanced, it's healthy, it's not toxic. Love is a good thing. When it's unbalanced, it becomes obsession. And she has said that she's addicted to this man. So there's obsession, there's fixation, there's an addiction, but there's no real love, because if there was love, there wouldn't be all this. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't, this would not be happening. This back and forth is not love and will never be love. It's just her obsessed with the idea of what she thinks her and Nader could be. She's obsessed with the fantasy in her head. And she's also obsessed with the idea of this man is a challenge and she's got to win this challenge. And even though she's losing the game, in order to not completely admit defeat, she's got to keep playing the game. Even though every moment that she plays, she loses a little bit more.
Fucking missing a lot. But then I think and I remember I can't forget everything he did to me. I can't forget it. I don't want to ruin his life. But at the same time, he committed like serious crimes. And I'm just recording them.
You know, my opinion here, I don't think those two ever stopped really talking to each other. I think that they might have taken breaks, or she was giving the impression to her audience that she was done with him, for the simple fact that her own audience, they've all been just waiting for this guy to get gone, just to get gone. She keeps dangling this golden carrot in front of her audience that today's the day, we're done, I'm through with him. Her audience has been waiting for that day patiently. They've been hanging on by their fingernails. And they've all been under the impression that if Nader is out of the picture, they're going to get the old Chantal Marie back, the old Foodie back. The one that she doesn't have Nader on her channel. She'll care about her content. She might halfway care about her audience. I got news for you people. Those days are gone and they're not coming back. This is not me being a negative Nancy. This is me being a truthful Nancy. Because you'll get the truth out of me. You'll never get it out of Chantal. She's fixated on Nader, and she's going to stay fixated on Nader. Her obsession will never stop. Her addiction for him will never stop. It'll never stop. She's got multiple addictions. Does anybody see her trying to get over any of them? No, because she's too comfortable with those addictions. She wants them all to continue, and that includes Nader. And these last several months, the two of them have been very active in scamming their own audiences, playing on their emotions, playing on their feelings, keeping people concerned, keeping them tuning in, keeping them giving up their money. Every time she talked about getting rid of Nader, or this is the last time, I'm done with him, I really mean it, people would start giving her money because they were so happy. Imagine that. Being an audience member and you're so stressed out about seeing somebody else in a dramatic, toxic relationship that you want to offer support by giving money because you're so desperate for that person to be away from that person that you want to reinforce them getting away and then it not happening. And this is something that's been happening on her channel for months. The back and forth, the seesawing, the teetotaling, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I'm done. Oh, I'm not done. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, I've cut off his phone. No, I turned it back on. Been going on for months. Playing with people and their feelings, triggering people. It's not fair.
I miss him. But I hate myself for it because I don't understand why I do. After everything, I just want to stop hurting. I just want it to stop. I think I'll be okay. I just have weak moments. I fucking hate it. It's not fair. It's not fair that he's the one who hurt me and I'm the one hurting. And he's the one having fun right now with someone else. Like it was like I was never anything. Like with all my shit still in his house, like it was never fucking anything. So that's how I'm feeling. Now I have to deal with all this shit. I don't think I can breathe sometimes. That Jafar ring was not 10K. That ring was supposed to be for me, not for him. And I was supposed to be married by then. In a cabin. I pretty much told you the exact.
You know, interesting fact about the ring. She bought the ring as a way to try to push Nader into a relationship and into marriage with her. But I've also heard that she kind of did the same thing with Bibi. You know, she wants to push people into relationships rather than let the relationships happen. You know, she wants things to happen when she wants them to happen. And she doesn't care if the other person is on board or not. She's still going to push and pressure the other person to do things her way. Chantal, that's not how real relationships work. It's not just about what you want, it's about what the other person wants. And marriage is a very serious thing. You can be in a relationship with somebody and not wear a ring and not walk down the aisle. But I think you're so desperate for the idea of having love in your life that you will go to extremes trying to get that love. And that's not how love works. It's not how love works. You cannot force someone to marry you or to love you. You cannot pay someone to have real feelings or real connection. If the real feelings and connection aren't there, no amount of money in the world is going to change that. Nothing. Nothing. No amount of manipulation or determination is going to change things. You've been trying and trying with Nader for months, and you're still at square one with this dude. And that's exactly where you're going to stay, because by not being in a relationship with you, by not being married to you, by being the bad boy, he's getting everything he wants out of you. And the bonus is he doesn't have to live with you. He doesn't have to deal with the person that you are. He can get what he wants out of you without the headache of you.
Heavy cocaine. They just looked at me. What? I don't do it anymore.
Liar.
I'm a good girl now. Chantal, you will be sad with or without a boyfriend. You have to love yourself and happiness you're looking for. You're right. Because you know what? I cry about Nader and everything whenever I'm away. But then whenever Didi's not there, and I'm there, we're both not happy. I am a jealous person.
Yep.
It's a jealousy thing. So you think the only reason I want Nader is because Didi's there?
Yep. Sure do.
Yes.
And he uses the fact that he's with Didi and around Didi and living with Didi to play you, because you don't like him being around Didi. And to get him away from Didi, you're willing to pay for motel rooms, you're willing to give him money, you're willing to buy his groceries, because you're playing tug of war with Didi. You want that woman away from what you consider to be your man. So he uses being around Didi to manipulate the money out of you, and you're so stupid, you don't see that. That's another way that he uses to control you. He knows that you're insecure. He knows that you're jealous. He knows that there's no other man in the picture to threaten his position as a sugar baby. So just to keep his foot on your neck, just to get that money out of you, he will throw another woman in your face whenever he has to. And he's done it repeatedly, successfully, to get stuff out of your purse.
Past 10 months in my entire 37 years of fucking existence, I can honestly say the past 10 months of my life have been the most emotionally charged, fucked up, emotionally charged moments. And I feel like I'm really just dealing with the fallout, and I just don't even know how to fucking react. I don't even know how to. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my mind sometimes. I feel like I'm cracking up. It's crazy.
And you know what's funny is the fact that she was with Pete and BB, and she described those relationships as boring. She said that both of those men were boring. And one of the most exciting things that she's found with the relationship with Nader is that in her mind, it's not boring because it's always high energy, it's high intensity, it's drama. She loves the drama. She loves the high intensity fights and going back and forth. She loves it. She had two men in her life that were good to her. She cheated on both of them, and she's addicted to Nader, I feel, because of the drama, because of the fights and the high energy emotions that are negative. She feeds off of that.
You know what's ironic and weird? It's like as human beings, we want to do the right thing, so we lie about like who we are, or we're not honest about our intentions or actions. By doing that, we're being shady, right? It's better to be honest about doing a shady thing than to lie about it, because it's also shady. And that's your lesson for today. You already know. No, I wrote myself. That's why whenever you guys, ask me stuff, I have trouble not being honest about it, and that's why you ask me, so you know. I'm doing this because I'm like half out of my mind, and because I want you to hurt. I want you to fucking hurt like I hurt. I want you to feel pain. I want you to burn in the fiery depths of fucking hell. I called the cops on you. I ruined your reputation, even though you were a fucking McStabby before you knew me. Natter, you are a fucking piece of shit. This is what you do every time. Every time I don't do what you want me to fucking do, and I leave your sorry little, scrawny little fucking pathetic ass for more than a day, you call Dee stupid, desperate Lulu down, and you two fuck with my brain, and you fucking do it every time. For example, and yes, I'm gonna get shit for this too, but I don't give a fuck at this point. In case you didn't notice, I don't give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck what happens to you now. So,
Couple of things while she's ranting. Other people have come to Foodie and said that her content triggers them. Foodie's response to that was, I'm not responsible for your mental health. And yet here she is ranting how what Dee Dee and Nader are doing are affecting her mental health. See how that works, Foodie? You're saying to people on the internet, on your YouTube channel, that what you do, your content, you're not responsible for how that affects people, but yet the actions of other people that are not even in front of you, that affects your mental health. Yet you get on your YouTube channel and like this rant right now. This rant that you're doing, this is you talking to Nader through your channel. What you should have done, what you should have been doing a long time ago, if you got something to say to him, you should have said it to him in private. You brought it to your channel and you put all of everybody in your audience in the middle of your shit. You expose them to all this nonsense, toxic drama, getting people concerned, getting them involved. That should not have happened. You talk about how much you want a private life, and then you put this crap on the internet. This isn't fair. It really isn't fair to involve people in things that do not involve them. And by doing so, you upset people, you stress people out, you get people concerned. Private matters should be private matters. If you got something to say to somebody, you should say it to them on the phone, messenger, whatever, not through a YouTube channel, because that is public and that involves the public, and the public has to watch and the public has to listen. Some things the public should not hear. Some things the public should not be involved in. This is an example. Treating YouTube like your own personal private diary that you open up and you start talking and you expect people to pay for all the grisly details in your diary. You're expecting people to send super chats and memberships for this crap. And that's exactly what it is. It's crap. It's high emotional, stressful crap. You got something to say to Nader, say it to him in private. Don't do this. It's not right.
So now you're really, really, you know what? I don't even give a fuck what happens to me. So, yeah. You guys are gonna hate me so bad. You fucking lied to me. Like, really? You have this fucking fix there for a month? Like, when just 2 days before she came over, I was skipping her every single day. So then whenever I'm not good enough for you and you use me up, you call her over to make my fucking plate like I'm a piece of fucking trash. And now I have to fucking go to therapy every fucking week with you.
Therapy? What therapy? When have you ever gone to therapy? She's always talked about a therapist. Where's the therapist? Therapist who? We don't know her. So she told another lie right there. I'm going to my therapist. When? You constantly live stream. Where's the therapy? You acting this way proves you've not been to therapy even once, Foodie.
I fucking hate you. I hate you. They cannot, like, okay, you tell me what you think about this, okay? I had a really, really bad week moment, and I don't know how the conversation started. I was talking to Debbie on Messenger. He's not supposed to see me or talk to me. I ended up going over there. And I'm so fucking stupid because I don't know, I just thought, oh, he just called the cops on him and fucking accused him of sexual assault and everything. Oh, yeah, you can just go back over there and just kick Dee out and everything will be fucking normal. Fucking went over there and he fucking brought coffee. And I brought, and I know you guys don't have sympathy for me at this point. I'm just venting. Actually, I'm not even talking to you guys. At this point, I'm talking to them. So you want me to keep the phone on? And I'm doing this live because I did warn them. So don't call me a bitch. I warned you many fucking times, asshole. You're gonna.
You know, Foodie doing this rant on this day, she knew exactly what she was doing. If she was raging and she wanted to vent, she could have turned her camera off and just talked to herself in her car and nobody would have heard her. But she was determined to involve everybody in this crap and get them concerned and get them worked up. She knew what she was doing. She knew. She wanted an audience for her drama. She wanted people to feel sorry for her and be on her side. That's what she wanted. That's why she keeps bringing the drama to her channel and she just won't stop.
You ignore me and you're not gonna answer me, so I'll go live and address you. So here I am. Same thing with Dee. You've been warned, so here you are. So it's not okay. She didn't give him permission to leave the house with me or actually talk to me because he can get in trouble. Well, here.
Okay, this is what I find funny about this story. So we've seen Dee and we've seen Nader. Dee Dee is more the submissive one, is she not? So can anybody really agree to this idea that Natter is going to listen to Dee Dee telling him not to leave the house? Does anybody see that really happening, that would be a real reality? Because I can't. I can't see Natter listening to anybody but himself. You know, Dee Dee's miss, whatever you say, Natter. So she's telling this story like, oh, Dee Dee did not let him leave the house. Does that even sound plausible? No, I don't think so.
I did it for you. I just outed you. You talked to me. Now what? Hmm? The detective called me. Oh, it wasn't. It was the detective. I can't talk about the water. And actually, I'm not talking about him or anything to do with him ever again. We're not talking about each other. We're not supposed to. We can't be together ever. So, I lost my mind back there. Like,
You know, I find it funny that she says a detective called her. I don't see why a detective would call her, because what she did was file charges. At that point, it's no longer a police matter. It's a legal matter handled by the Crown. So why would a detective call her?
sorry. That's what happens when you put people's emotions. They lose their mind. And I can't control myself. But I will try very, very hard. Again, every time this happens, I feel like it's set back to zero. And I have to start all over to get exactly, well, to it. It was. Right. So, I can't talk.
And yet she continued to, repeatedly.
This is a recorded video. I'm processing a lot of emotions and trauma the past 10 months. So, I was not told that legally I'm not allowed to talk about what happened, but I was advised it's probably best not to talk about certain things while this case is still going on. Unfortunately, these kinds of domestic violence cases they can drag on forever. I know there were questions about if I had dropped the charges and everything like that. At the beginning, I wasn't going to because, well, I had gone to make a report, and I think when I had gone to the police, I don't know what my motivation was to go to the police station that day. It wasn't just being pissed off at him in that moment.
Liar. You were too. You were mad, mad, mad at Natter. You were mad. And you want to get back at him. And even more so than that, you've always hated the fact that Dee Dee is with Natter. And you were just trying to find a way to get them apart. So maybe you thought by threatening him with that would separate them. That was your motivation.
This cycle, speaking of which, it will help you understand a bit why I didn't leave or why I kept going back or why I retracted the charges, which I'm getting to. I know you're waiting. On February 27th, I sent an email. I had sent a couple emails to the detective.
And again, you're sending the letters to the detective, but it's a matter of the Crown. So why would the detective have anything to do with the case anymore if it's a matter for the Crown? If there were charges filed and she wanted them dropped, why wouldn't she send an email to the Crown? Because they would be the ones handling it, Foodie. And I saw the email. It looked fake AF. You even addressed it Foodie Beauty, not your actual real name.
Not proof, but like, because you guys were all in there, so there's not really proof, but with just some information that I was supposed to get to him. And then I sent another email on February 27th. I did send an email. I will insert the screenshot here.
Okay. So this particular email, let me just blow it up real quick. I remember this. So she titled this email as Foodie Beauty. She didn't even use her real legal name. So she sent this email off on this date. She said she sent an email off on the 27th, and she got a response back 2 days later.
I don't remember if I had sent that email before or after going over there. At one time I told you I went over there. Anyway, so I returned it. I asked.
You know, and I find that also funny. She says, I can't remember when exactly I sent it. I would remember exactly when I sent it if I sent something like that.
And as you see, I do say they did happen, but I just don't think I want to go through with any legal proceedings. Like,
if it's a real case for DV or SA, if you file charges, and even if you want to drop the charges, at that point, the Crown takes over. So it doesn't matter if you drop them or not, the Crown will take over, which is another reason why I think this whole thing is phony.
I wanted to get back together with him. There was like a time where I was like, I'm going to go somewhere and get back together. And the thing is like, as you can see here, I got this information from a lawyer website here in Ontario. As you can see, they usually won't drop it if there's any prior. So they are the new investigated, more than likely. And I feel good in my decision for it. Actually, I'm glad I did it in the end because I think it was the right thing to do. Go through with this whole court battle. Like, I just want to be done with it. I don't want to think about it anymore because of this. Now I have to. So that's another reason that I just wanted to drop the charges. But at the same time, then he gets away scot-free. Could happen to someone else. And
she was never concerned about him going out and hurting another person that way. It was never about that. I think what she was most afraid of, if she was going to file charges, because she's such a liar, she was afraid of being put on a witness stand and being grilled. And she's a bad liar, and she knows it. She would get caught in her lies within like 5 minutes.
I just get no trust in someone. I have a story time that's going to like bury you. I swear. Y'all are gonna hate me. Y'all are gonna hate me for this. I think this case is gonna have to go to court. This case is gonna go to court because. Okay, so listen. One of my make-believe moments, I already told you, I asked for the charges to be dropped because this past wife was lying to me on scene. You know what he did? Like, he must have had a lawyer or someone smart, like, message him and be like, we need to prove that, we're gonna set her up and prove that, like, oh, he's such a dirty fucking dog. I'm glad I contacted you because you know what? You want to bring her name, don't worry. Anyway.
I just can't see that. A lawyer telling their client, go ahead and set her up, like con her somehow. I can't see any lawyer or prosecutor saying that to the client. Work to set her up.
Like, there's no point. This is not a game. This is like the truth and the non-truth. So he's been like buttering, sucking up to me, talking to me, which he's not supposed to. I set up a fake Facebook name, Maria Pondu, and I talked to him that way because I was still in love with him. Now, honestly, not honestly, like being away from him for so long, my feelings have been less and less. Um, every time I would see him, it would like make it worse again, and I know this is shit for talking to him, like, okay, and lying about it, like, just like listen to me, okay? I haven't seen him since that one time. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, oh, it's because he just wants to do things legally in the right way. No, it's because fucking Debbie is there this whole time. Meanwhile, he's lying those stuff for this.
So she's admitting that even though she accused him of these serious things, she's confessing with a smile on her face that she went on Facebook and made a fake account to what? Set him up? To talk to him, to kind of do it on the sly so that other people wouldn't know? Yeah, she's vindictive and she's evil like that because she wants contact with him. This horrible person that has done horrible things to her, still sneaking around in private to talk to him because she's just that desperate.
Those were Debbie's. So he called me last night, so I talked to him last night on the phone, on video chat, and he's a fucking idiot. Her person's in the background. Her big, ugly, purple fucking old lady friend. And I'm like, Debbie's there. You're lying to me. You told me she wasn't there. You told me she was in Montreal. She's telling everyone she's in Montreal. No, you're not. Your person's there. Your kids are there. You both are liars. So he's trying to get me to drop the charges. He's trying to make me admit that it wasn't sexual assault. So I'm going to tell you what happened, and then you can decide for yourself if it was sexual assault or not. How about that? How about I tell people what happened, and then you can decide if it was sexual assault?
How about you not do that? How about you not do that on YouTube? How about you not sharing the details on YouTube? Because that is not something you do on YouTube. It's one thing for a person to do an educational video and share their experience as a way to help other people who've been through DV and SA. But the way you've done it on your channel for so long, Chantal, you're not doing it in an educational way to help other victims. You're doing it in a very exploitative, wrong way. So while you're feeling vindictive and petty and evil and rotten, oh, let's just share all the details and trigger people. Let's really trigger everybody. Let's get people upset that have been through it. You're a monster.
Let's see if it was sexual assault or not. Okay, so let me get to that in a little while. Trigger warning, because yeah, it is very upsetting. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm eating, or I don't even want to talk about it right now. But I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later tonight. Don't worry. Okay? Yeah. Not just that. He made me say like, I was under the impression, obviously, like for some reason that everything would just be okay. I could see him again. He was like trying to get back together. Because I don't know what the fault is I had over like with him.
So imagine that somebody saying this person committed all these horrible things on me. So she thinks that she's going to go to the alleged police, allegedly file these charges, create all this hoo-ha for him, and then drop the charges like, just kidding. And then everything will go back to the way it was and he'll agree to see her. That's how twisted this woman is. That she's going to actually use the legal system or the threat of it to try to manipulate him, try to involve the legal system as a way to punish him or threaten him for her own ill-gotten means. You're sick, Chantal.
Like it's complicated. Like I said, unless you are in it to like really explain how I so desperately wanted to see him. And it's like a physical way. I'm like missing physically, you know, and I forget. Like even when I was in therapy, my therapist was telling me like you have to remember like in like a week from now, like let's say I went back, in like 2 days I would be like rage crying and screaming and like basically just be right back to square one. But like he knows that I'm jealous. He knows I have feelings for him. So like using Didi as a really easy manipulation tactic is like, and it works because whenever she's there, I feel rejected, I feel jealous, and I feel like I really want his attention, and I want her to go. It's so fucking stupid. Like, never mind the fact that he's abusive, that he hits me, that he screams at me, that he doesn't respect my boundaries during sex. And it's like, none of that seems to matter. All of it is just like eating my ego, eating my like need for validation. It's like super fucked up. But at the end of the day, no matter what the motive is, like whatever remains, and I will not ever like say like he like made me say it out loud. I didn't want to say it, but like
So basically what she's saying is he could do all kinds of horrible things to me as long at the end of the day, he's mine and he's only mine. He could do whatever he wants to me, but as long as he's mine, that's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay when one person hurts another person, whether it's verbally, physically, or otherwise. It's not okay. But that's how sick and twisted you are, Chantal, that you're willing to excuse anything bad as long as he belongs to you and only you. And that's the whole point of this back and forth sick game that you and Natter play online in front of everybody. This sick game that you both have with who's got the most power, who's got the edge, who's winning over who at the moment. And you're doing it in front of people. If you two did it to each other in private, that'd be one thing, but you're expecting an audience to be there to witness every sick, disgusting, manipulative, controlling, narcissistic moment. This is wrong. This is so wrong. You guys want to carry on in private, do so, but not on YouTube.
he's like, I sexually assaulted you. I'm like, I didn't answer. And then he like had asking me to say something. So he obviously recorded me. And I said, are you recording me? And he said no. So you won't even be able to use that, you stupid asshole, in court, which I am going to court. I'm hiring a good lawyer and I'm going all the way to court. Because you know what? At the end of the day, everything I wrote down in that police report did happen. And yes, I would have wanted to not press charges because if I was going to be with him, then obviously I don't want him to go to jail. Obviously I don't want him to get hurt. And I think it's like the dilemma.
That's sick. This person that you say did all these things and yet I don't want him to get hurt. Really? You just said that?
That a lot of people in this situation face, like if you're with a partner whom you still are in love with and you don't, like, it's like you're in love with someone who committed a crime against you. So, like, how messed up is that? Like, how do we even deal with that? Like, the detective called me today and I was like, he's like, we don't have a channel anymore. I was like, I still have an audience. Like, we have somewhere to go. But anyway, he was like, I have to like, he's like, I can't drop the charges without my hands, like it goes to the crown,
right?
Because of the types of crimes, and because obviously he has a history of being a piece of shit woman, domestic violence person, stabbing his ex or whatever. So I'm going to just let you know that whatever I talk about, I'll try to talk about it so that it's just like affecting me in a way, like, but I feel like I should have a right to talk about what like my story. I'm not like bashing him or anything.
Notice what she just said. Notice the choice of words she just used. My story, not my truth, my story. Anybody who's ever read a book in their lives, then you know that when somebody writes a story, it's all subjective to what truth or non-truth they want to put in the story. So because she calls it her story, because she's the one providing the narrative and the plot and the plot lines and the plot twists and the actors, her story is what she wants it to be. And Chantal has gone on record saying that she exaggerated a lot of the things that she said. So I think I can say with full confidence that most of her story is made up. She's making it up as she goes. So here she is saying all these things about Natter, but if you fast forward to the present day, now she's trying to whitewash away all of those things that she said and trying to paint this narrative of, you guys don't understand. He's not that bad of a guy. You know, she switches the story based on her mood and how mad she is or she isn't. You can't depend on Chantal's story for the truth because in my opinion, there is no truth. It's all about her moods and her emotions and if she's mad at you or not.
Like harassing him or whatever. I'm just telling like what's happening with his face. I don't know what I was thinking, like getting back with him, and then I would come on and be like, hey guys, yeah, Nader and I are at the again. Like, how could it ever could never be? My family would never talk to me again, probably, if I ever went back to him. My friends would never talk to me again. He wants to like murder me.
What?
And he pretty much threatened me saying,
What?
I don't want to hurt you. I never don't want to hurt you. If we go to court,
wait a second. He wants to do what to Pete? Y'all, oh, I didn't know about that. And for anybody that triggered, I am so sorry. He wants to hurt Pete. Can I just say this? I think if Pete and Natter have a problem with each other, it's because of Chantal. You got to know that she's going to Natter and saying things about Pete, and then she's going to Pete and saying things about Natter. The only thing those two men have in common is her. And so she might be trash talking Pete to Natter and then trash talking Natter to Pete. I feel that the reason why those two men have a problem with each other is the fact that she talks mad trash about each man to each man because she wants them, both of them, fighting over her, and she wants them both on her side. So she's going to flip the narrative depending on the person she's in front of. And another reason why Natter has a problem with Pete is because he's another man in her life that she's given money to, and that money is not going to her. He's a grifter. He wants all the money going his way. He doesn't like the idea of another man being taken care of by his cash cow. Let's keep going.
So, yeah, I wish I recorded that. So, the detective wants me to gather all of what's happened in the past 2 weeks, including all proof that he's been in contact with me because he's not supposed to, and send it over and finally decide do I want to press charges. And yes, we're going to go to court because you know what? And it might seem like I'm doing it because I'm disgruntled. Yeah, you're right, I'm disgruntled. You know, you have seen what this piece of crap put me through. And then to like try to like pretend like he's gone home and manipulate me into thinking like just playing on my emotions over and over, like he knows how I feel about him. But honestly, to God, this just here's the story. Wait till I get my talk on it to tell you what happened. You guys are gonna freak out. Okay, let me get there. I go. So I'm going to the police station today because he's trying to get me. He's like, you need to go. You need to go. You need to go. Like I need to go to the police station. To drop the charges or whatever. So he's like basically just saying, we're gonna keep DB's secret until she drops the charges. Like he's such an asshole. Oh my god. So I'm happy that I went to the police station today. Yeah, they called him in. I don't know what they called him in for.
If you want my honest opinion, I think she pulled the ace out of her hand and she basically threatened Natter with this because she desperately wanted Dee Dee away from Natter and she did not know of another way to get that to happen. So she thought by threatening him with something legal that he would become really scared and he'd get rid of Dee Dee. Because before all of this stuff, you know, she was losing her mind over Dee Dee being there, allegedly. That could have been made up drama too. Her losing her mind over Dee Dee's presence. But if Dee Dee had not been there, none of this would have happened. she wouldn't have gone off the way that she did.
I walk into the police station and I see Dee sitting there. She's like, Chantal, we need to talk. Oh, I look at her, I'm like,
You know, Chantal is just all about using the legal system because she can't stand the idea of losing control. She's all about control. She cannot control her own life or anything in it. So in order to feel in control, she has to control other people by whatever means necessary.
wait, so you were, because whatever he said, whatever I saw from last night when I talked to him on the phone, he's like, I'm like, that's Dee Dee's purse. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I should have your stuff here. So Dee Dee's not there? Are you crazy? No, Dee Dee's not here. She was there the whole time. The thing she didn't like me right to my face. I'm like, so you were there? She's like, I just got here today to support Nana there? No, you got here like last week, the second day. You're bullshit. You're a liar. Just fucking stop lying about it. This is what they do. They emotionally fucking torment me and lie to me. Like, I was
And you allow it to happen.
mind, I could lose 5% because I was supporting him emotionally, financially, whatever. To me, that's a relationship. Shame on me now. I'm stupid.
Wrong. Okay, she just said, I'm supporting him emotionally, financially, and otherwise. And that's a relationship. No, Chantal, that's not a relationship. That is a business agreement that you had with Nader. Just because you buy him a bunch of stuff, just because you pay his bills and you pay his rent, that is not a relationship. A relationship is when you have two people, and it could be a friendship, it could be a love relationship, but any relationship is built on good qualities, good things. Two people who want to be around each other for whatever reason, they enjoy each other's company, and the company is free. It's free. You don't pay for it. They just like being around you. They want your company. They want your companionship. What you've had going on with Nader is not a relationship. It's just a business agreement. And here's another one of my opinions here, my points of view. I think that she went to Nader in the beginning and she really liked him for whatever reason. And she was desperate to get his attention. So she threw out the only thing of value that she had, and that's her YouTube money. She approached him and she opened her big mouth and told him, oh yeah, I'm making all this money on YouTube. And him being the mooch and the grifter and the leech that he is, that made him turn his head around to her and go, oh really? So they came up with a business agreement that he would hang out with her and she would pay for everything. And Chantal is a person that she can't do dating. She's not that person that she can get to know a person and just hang out and be patient. She wants everything right now. So she wanted to be in a relationship with him. And since he was agreeing to just a business relationship, a business agreement where you pay me, I'll hang out with you, she thought, well, okay, that's my in. That's me getting in the door. That opens the door to be in a relationship with him. All I got to do is just treat him really well, and eventually he'll fall in love with me. I do remember a live stream that she did where she kept saying, all I have to do is get in his house. A very stalkerish thing to say, but she said it. But it was very important for her to get in the house for some reason. Because I guess she thought maybe if I get in the house, that means I'm also getting into his life little by little. And so he let her in the house. And then she started staying over there and taking her things and staying over there more and more. And maybe she thought by doing that, that means she got ever closer to her goal of being with him full time. And so she's got more and more frustrated no matter what she does, no matter how much time she spent with Nader, no matter how much money, she's not at the finish line. And she never will be. Nader will always keep her away from the finish line, always, because it benefits him to keep her away from the finish line. Once the race is over, there's no more challenge. There's no reason for her to pay for anything. And so, to continue grifting her, he keeps her just at arm's length away from finishing the race and attaining her goal.
I'm guilty for being stupid, but nothing else. This guy is, oh my god, he's crazy. Trust me, and I know you won't trust me for a while, when I say it's never gonna happen. This guy is done. I'm over. I couldn't just like tooth and nail for my rights. Fuck that. And yes, I know it's gonna look like I'm disgruntled and that's why I'm doing it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is that it happened, and I'm not the only one who's reported it. And yeah, maybe I've had a lot of weak moments and really just wanted to get back with him. But he, like, that's so gross. You lied to me to make me think that she's gone home to do something nice for you again. Friday night, I had.
You know, I think the obsession goes both ways. I think that Nader is obsessed with isolating his mark, his target, which is Chantal. He's obsessed with isolating her away from everybody and everything that could threaten his hold over Chantal. But at the same time, she's obsessed with isolating her target, which is Nader. She is obsessed with getting him all to herself. She doesn't want Dee Dee in the way. She doesn't like the idea of sharing her man or Dee Dee interfering. They're both obsessed with isolating each other away from everybody else, so they'll both have control.
Talking to him on the phone in a parking lot. I was talking to him. I really missed him. I talked to him for like an hour about everything. And I thought it was private. I thought we were like alone, and I'm sure that Debbie was there the whole fucking time. I'm just so grossed out by like everything. I feel so fucking betrayed by everybody. Like, what the fuck? Why can't they have me? I just want decent people in my life only. I can't stand these fucking slimy, snaky pieces of crap. Ugh. And yeah, I'm in contact with him too. But I'm not the one who's under a legal obligation not to contact him. He's gone, so. So I go to the police station, I see that she's giving some bullshit, like, I don't know, they called him in, I don't know if he's going to jail, I don't know what, we need to talk, this is ridiculous. She's like, you need to basically telling me I need to put my feelings for Matter aside, for her and Matter aside, and like focus on like the issue with Matter, like the case, like, yeah, and manipulation is a big part of the case. So you know what? No, fuck you. I just was, as she was still talking, I rolled my eyes, I turned around, and I walked out the fucking door. Right back in my car, the detective called me. And that's when I talked to him about it. I was like, yeah, I know, I said I wanted to drop the charges, but nope, we're gonna fight this tooth and nail. Final decision, it's happening, it's on bench. So I messaged him one last time for reapology and said, good, have a nice night, see you in court. Oh, he doesn't fuck with the wrong. You all fuck with the wrong. Good luck with that man, baby. He'll be paying all his legal bills. I can't wait. I can't wait for him to drain every fucking penny out of your wallet. Every penny. I hope he won't grow. I hope he won't fucking grow both of you defending this case.
And the irony of her saying that, I hope you go broke, and yet, because of Nader, she's going broke on her channel. You know, like she's paying for this idiot, and yet it's ruining her channel and she's going broke.
I hope they do. We're gonna go to the police station, you're gonna set this right. Like, he thinks I'm just being like bratty because I'm jealous.
You are.
Like, he really doesn't. This is my view. Look at this shit. exploded.
So Chantal basically traumatized everybody by taking him on this long, toxic, high energy roller coaster ride. And her being in Cuba was, everybody was hoping this would be a period where she would get away from Nader and they could have a chance to breathe again after her basically sucking all the oxygen out of the room for the longest. They could finally take a nice lungful of air. And unfortunately, this Cuba vacation was just, it was a bust. It wasn't as positive as it could have been or it should have been.
Okay, so yeah, it's not internationally.
Oh, hold on a minute. I'm noticing something. Wait a second. Wait a second. So it's March 29th, 2022. The date of that letter was the 29th. Was it not? Yeah, it was. So the letter she allegedly got, which should have come from the Crown, but it came from the police station, which proves it's a fake. Anybody look at that letter, it was a fake. So on the same day, she's in Cuba. Keep that in mind.
Because I can't enjoy my fucking vacation until I make sense. I need to like tell you what happened. So you can tell me if I'm in the wrong here. I'm still in the wrong because I'm being told that I'm in the wrong here. So let me tell you about the situation that happened this weekend, okay? And then you can tell me what's wrong. You tell me your side of the story. You tell me what you think, okay? Okay, so here's my wrong. Basically,
another thing that came to mind, if she received that letter on the 29th of March, no, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm wrong. I apologize. I got my dates mixed up. It was April 29th. My apologies.
so I was in contact with TV because we're not allowed to talk about her. So talking fucking TV, like fucking TV. So what happened was, I one of my friends like it. Anyway, I was like gonna make an arrangement. I just sent like I messaged TV, like I like just saying like, hey, you know, like and I have all the messages. And I said, hey, you know, like I don't, you know, like if you're gonna go like that, I want to get so we get an arrangement with you. So anyway, he ended up getting a fucking video chat and we were talking or whatever, and then he told me to go get me shit. And then I ended up going and talking and I don't know if he trusted you, whatever, but I ended up driving him to Montreal. And they're gonna lie and he's gonna get in trouble.
But so these two people she's got such an intense, fiery hatred for. Before coming to Cuba, she had an intimate occasion with both people. And one of them was somebody that she alleges did all these horrible, horrible things to her. But she had intimate relations with both of them.
This is the thing. If you were too concerned about getting in trouble, you fucking let me and drive me crazy. Like, he had no. Okay, so here's the thing. I drive him to Montreal over and over again. Like, I was like re-hooked and I wanted to see him, so I wanted to get a hotel and I wanted to spend my birthday with him in a hotel. That's stupid. Whatever. That's what I wanted. And he wanted to, I guess. He got in my car and drove me away from the freaking calling, freaking out. Open the pipe for fucking vibrator, stupid fucking idiot. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god. So anyways, nobody's ever made me feel this way. Nobody in my fucking life has made me this crazy.
That's because nobody in your life has ever told you no, and that's a big part of the problem. That's why you're a big overgrown toddler, because you've been a spoiled, entitled brat all your life. And the first person that ever tells you no is as rotten as you are. You got a problem with that. The fact that you finally met your exact match, and it's the first person in your life that ever told you no. And because of that, you're like, this is a challenge. I've got to win this challenge because I have to conquer all. I'm the great Chantal Marie. I have to win this challenge. I will not allow anybody to go against me.
I know my donkey had a heart attack. Yeah, you gave it to her. Anyways, and like him, like she doesn't mind. So that's why he's like, you know. But like,
so she's talking about this traumatic thing, and yet she's like, yeah. Scary how she can switch between emotions, which proves that her outrage and all that really isn't real.
You're welcome. So anyways, no, I don't have better things to do because my mind is cluttered with shit. With fucking shit, and I'm all I can hear about. Like right now, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes I'm okay, and sometimes I'm not. Like people go, I can't control it. I know them too well. Too well. Dot dot dot. This is where you're supposed to read it between the lines. Dot dot dot. Get it? Got it? So what exactly would that if she sent you that text message, what exactly, and I'm not bashing her or anything, this is exactly discussing what it means. I think it means that they were sleeping together and they lied about it the whole time.
Of course.
Right? What would you think? It was from Dee.
Right. So she got spotted at the hotel with Nadar, which was her fault because she edited the video and she left Easter eggs all over the place in that video. And then once the reaction channels called her out, isn't it something that after she got called out, suddenly this letter appears that, according to her, got sent to her on April the 29th, which means she's been sitting on it for the longest. Right? Isn't that something? Oh, I've been sitting on this letter knowing that the charges were dropped all this time, but let me just sit on it until it's time to bring it out. You know what I think? I think after she got called out at the motel with Nadar, she wanted to create a deflection point. Maybe her and Nadar decided, you know, the game is over. Let's just bring it to a close so people will stop talking about it, mentioning it. And that's why she came up with this fake, phony letter.
I'm sick of this whole situation. I'm sick of Nadar. I'm sick of everybody. Anyways, I got a letter in the mail, which I can post if you really want me to, and blur out the personal information, but won't make a difference, will it? From the Crown.
Yeah, so she allegedly got the letter on April of 29th. The date of this live stream is the 12th. So that would mean if she did get a letter, she's been sitting on it for more than a week. So why didn't she mention it before? Why is it only after her getting outed at the motel that suddenly this letter is coming to light?
Saying that my case against the individual in case number blah blah blah, the case has been not accepted, just thrown out. No.
It's funny that she says the case against this individual. If the case is dropped, why can't you say his name?
Oh, Brooke, there was a case.
No, it wasn't.
Like I said, I have the paper at home when I go live.
And it was
I will shove it in your face. So I went and pressed the charges, and then, you know, I went back to the police. I sent you the email. I showed you I wanted things reversed. I wanted to see him again. I was told basically that I was told by the detective I shouldn't talk about him while there's a case. And I was told that they will send the information to the Crown. And that it's not up to me. Like, the Crown has to review all the information.
Sure.
And decide if they're going to proceed with a trial or a case. Just because you file charges or whatever doesn't mean you're automatically guaranteed a trial. There's nothing like that. I'm honestly tired of the whole situation and what.
You know what I think? I think if she did go to the police station, Nader and Didi went down there and stopped her from filing charges. And this whole thing's been fake the entire time.
What I can say, what I can't say, all this. Who says I'm filming and editing? Do you have proof of that?
Yes, we do. Anybody can look at Nader's videos and tell that you're the one doing it because he doesn't know how to do it. If you were as smart as you think you are, you would have taught him to edit so that he could do it once in a while, and then nobody would know it was you. Because he's so dependent on you and he doesn't know how to do it, we know it's you.
None of your business. Well, if I'm manipulative, why are you here? Why are you here still? Starting the blocking spree.
Go ahead.
Goodbye, Brooke. You're mentally ill. You need help. I don't give a fuck what you saw. You saw me for sure?
Yep.
No. It's not about getting caught. It's about you coming on here, acting like I owe you something and giving me shit for what? Calling me liar for what?
Because you're a liar. You know, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it must be a duck.
So go away if I'm a liar. If I'm a bad person, go away. You do owe something to your audience. No, my personal life, I don't owe you that.
You don't owe your personal life, but you owe them the truth. Since this is you're a lifestyle vlogger, you're vlogging your life, shouldn't you at least be truthful with your life? As opposed to making up a story that triggers people? I think so.
I owe you to come on here and hang out with you. What I do, I don't owe you anything, Anita. I don't owe you anything. I don't need to tell you where I was. Really? I have to report to you every time I do something? And it doesn't matter who it is. All right. Police.
Fake phony letter.
29th of April.
Okay, let's spot the errors in her ways. That paper that the letter is printed on don't even look right. It looks like an off-white. Most official letters are bone white. The case number should be above her name, along with other information, the address, the header. The logo is too small. It's off center. Should I keep going?
What is this for?
Yep, there's the printer cord. She was looking for a printer on that day. And it happens to be the same day that the letter is printed out that she got. She was looking for a printer on the 29th, and that's the same date that the letter was allegedly sent to her.
This might be for the printer. I gotta keep this in. Yes, legally, I'm not supposed to. So, technically, did I have a paper saying legally you will go to jail if you talk about Nader El Shami? No. But when I was in New York and the detective told me not to talk about it, and yes, I still didn't listen, but I listened when I felt like it and decided to. Okay? I'm terrified. Yes, I'm terrified of her face. I don't want to talk about the grape situation because it's very personal and
I don't think you were ever raped. I really don't.
I just feel bad talking about it when I know it bugs him so much to talk about stuff like that. Or the essay situation, sorry, I should say. So, I made it public and I shouldn't have. So, that's why I'm starting to, that's why I say I can't talk about stuff. It's not, what,
So she pretty much admits that she brings stuff up to upset him and get under his skin, and that's the only reason.
I didn't lie for revenge, but
Liar.
I exaggerated it. I did.
That part gets me right there. Let me play that again.
I didn't lie for revenge, but I exaggerated it. I did.
You know what? If something bad has happened to you, something bad has happened. You don't exaggerate. You exaggerate when something didn't happen. I find that offensive. The fact that she did all this stuff all these months and she's admitting I exaggerated. You know what she's trying to do? She's trying to paint this image like I'm the bad guy. I'm the one that lied. And she did lie. She lied about very serious things, very triggering things, saying to her audience, all the concern that you had for me, all those times that you were sympathizing with me, I was lying. I exaggerated. If something bad happens to you like that, you don't exaggerate. You just have the truth and that's all you need. If something bad happened to you, that's horrible enough. You don't have to exaggerate. You exaggerate when nothing happened. You beast.
Oh, so I did lie. So, well, he's. Remember when I first, before you knew his name, I called him Dom for a reason. Because remember the first stream I talked about him, he's kind of aggressive. Because he's aggressive. Like, he's a Dom by nature.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there. You're trying to bring BDSM terms into what you guys have. I'm someone I have experience with that lifestyle, and he's not a Dom. He's just an asshole. Just because somebody is a jerk doesn't make them a Dom. I know what a Dom is, and that's not Natter. And you're not Anastasia Steele. You're not a sub. You're just somebody living out some sort of twisted Dom sub fantasy, and that's all it is. It's a fantasy because you don't know what BDSM is about. You don't know anything about that lifestyle, and you don't care to learn. He was never a Dom, and I can say that with full confidence. And you were never a sub. Never. Never.
And I guess I just put it on there because I didn't like it. Can I tell you my plan? But you think I'm good? You think, haven't considered. I have so much to lose that I would just sit back and let somebody take advantage of me like that?
Yep.
Without any consequences? Really? I don't think so.
Wow. That was a well done video, EERIE. Well done. Well done. And I'm sorry if parts of this video have triggered anyone. I really do. That wasn't my intention at all. But I'm glad that EERIE made this video. It was well done. It was well thought out. Well thought out, EERIE. And I'm going to post a link for the video in the description. I encourage everybody to go over to EERIE's channel, to subscribe to her, and especially to leave some comments beneath that video and tell her if you enjoyed it or if you really liked it, because she deserves that. She needs to hear that, like, she did a good job on this video, a really good job. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope that you guys have been found this enlightening. Thank you, and please take care. Bye-bye.